Good morning. It is a beautiful day in March here in Georgia. We got up to about 81 degrees yesterday. I think we're going to be in the low 70s today. It's a little bit windy out here, so hopefully my microphone is not picking that up. It's almost warm enough to jump in the pool, but the water is still very cold. I'm probably just going to be reading from this because it's faster and I have a terrible memory. First, my disclaimer. I am not a construction professional or a contractor. We bought land in 2017 and built a house in 2018. We made a ton of mistakes and learned a lot. I hope you can learn from everything we did wrong. I want to answer a question that I have been asked a few times in the comments. Someone has asked me something like, how much would it cost to build a 3-bed, 2-bath house on 1 or 2 acres? Or the question is very similar to that. It might be a 2-bed, 1-bath house on a couple acres. The answer could vary so much that it is kind of impossible to answer without knowing a lot of details about your land and your house plans. You might be able to build it for $90 a square foot, or it might cost you $175 a square foot. We built our house in Georgia in 2018. It cost us about $110 per square foot to build the house. Our house is pretty simple with some custom stuff. By custom stuff, I mean more expensive. We have more expensive things like hardy plank siding, granite countertops, semi-custom cabinets in the kitchen and bathrooms, and very nice faucets in the kitchen and bathrooms. Many other things in our house are basic, or I hate to say cheaper, but that's what they are. Our windows are very basic. Our flooring is cheap or basic. It looks great to me and it's waterproof, but it's vinyl plank. It's not real hardwoods because they were way too expensive. Another thing that can affect the cost of your construction is the location of where you want to build. I'm sure the cost to build in California or New York is much higher than here in Georgia because of things like taxes, fees, permits, inspections, and regulations. Also, are you building near a major city or way out in the sticks? Building in or near a major city could cost you more in taxes, fees, permits, inspections, regulations, a lot of stuff that may not be required out in the country, or maybe they are not as strict on certain things. Building materials are very expensive right now. The cost of building materials can go up and down. Right now in 2020, things seem to be more expensive than ever. The housing and construction market is booming, so there is a huge demand for building materials. When you have a high demand, that makes the price go up. Back in 2008 to 2010 or 11, when the housing crash happened, a lot of construction slowed down or stopped completely. Many new neighborhoods sat with vacant lots or totally abandoned. There was less demand for building materials, which meant there was a large supply, so prices came down. Weather and storms can also make the cost of building materials go up. When we built our house in 2018, we were told by our contractor and several building material suppliers that all of the hurricanes and storms in the last couple of years had raised prices of building materials. I'm assuming that is because the demand went up in the areas that were destroyed and needed to be rebuilt. The cost of labor can affect your construction cost. Right now in 2020, there are so many construction projects going on that contractors are busy everywhere. If you need a contractor, you are probably going to pay more for their service because they are not desperate for work. Back during the housing crash, when construction was slowed or stopped all over the country, contractors had to compete for your job. You probably could get a better price or lower price on their labor because they needed the work. You can save money by doing some things yourself, but what you save in money, you're going to pay in time. I did many things myself during the construction of our house, but I was a walking zombie. I had no life, no free time, and I was exhausted all the time. I was either at work or working on our house. Let's talk quickly about buying land. A lot of what I talked about for construction costs also applies to land. You can find land for $5,000 an acre or you can spend $20,000 per acre. It depends on things like what state are you buying in, how close to a major city the land is, and how good the housing market is at the time when you were looking for land. Right now in 2020, housing and construction costs are way up. So I would say that land is at a premium. Land is more expensive. But if you bought land from 2008 to maybe around 2010 or 2011, you could get it for a lot less money because of the housing crash. No one was buying land at that time. Well, maybe investors were buying land. Now for our final segment. In 2016 or 2017, when I first started looking into buying land and building a house, I thought I was going to be an owner-builder and build most of my house myself for $60 or $70 per square foot. Several people, including real estate agents, said that it couldn't be done for that cheap. Many people told me the average cost to build was around $100 a square foot. But I know everything. I'm hard-headed and opinionated, and I knew I could do it cheaper. Fast forward to 2018, I was wrong, and it cost us around $110 per square foot to build. There are many reasons for why this happened, including the fact that we had to use a general contractor instead of being an owner-builder, and also I wasn't thinking about the cost of labor when I was estimating my construction cost, so I set myself up for failure. That will be an explanation for another video. It may be possible that you can build a small and simple home for $60 or $70 per square foot if you do all or most of the work yourself. I know this video was kind of vague and did not really give specific details about the cost to build a house. But if you made it this far, then I've given you lots of reasons as to why I can't just give you the answer to that question. There's so many variables and details that go into figuring the cost of buying land and building a house. I will be making some other videos about general contractors, construction loans, and other mistakes we made while buying land and building our house. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will try to help as best as I can. I'm gonna do one more ending. If you made it this far in my video, thank you for watching.